Good morning, everyone. As I said, I apologize. I'm not shaking the hands. I'm under the weather a little bit. My youngest keeps on getting everything in the kindergarten and pass it to the rest of the family. So I apologize, and hopefully my voice is not too bad this morning. I'm really delighted to be here in Sheffield. I think it's as Anne said, actually I've been to Sheffield University, I think many times, I think at least 4 or 5 times in the last couple of years, all the way back from the early days of Alma Adapters and recently also with discussion, but definitely haven't been here, and it's very, very nice. Thank you for hosting us, and really amazing location. And thank you for everyone here attending. I think what's very unique about the setup this morning is the type of variety of institutions that we see in the room, and we in general see within the space from national libraries or state libraries, archives, government, special libraries, academic libraries such as Sheffield. I think this really shows the kind of success that we've been having in the last couple of years, and definitely from Libris perspective, this is the focus that we have, trying to bring the love, as we call it, to many other types of institutions. I think overall this is what's going to make the community successful. This is what's going to make Libris and the space overall successful, where we see this kind of focus on digital preservation and digital asset management across so many different institutions. And I really want to thank everyone here in this room. I know it's quite challenging. I was talking to Steve about the trip that he had from New Zealand. I know many other people. I personally, I think, also travel about 12 hours through connection in Munich, and 4 hours connection in Munich, and then off to Birmingham, and then a train to Sheffield. So I really, and I know many people in the room had a similar experience, so I really thank you. I think this is going to be a great event for everyone. I'm going to spend just a few minutes. This is probably the only presentation in the next 2 days that's going to focus a little bit about Libris as a broader focus from a company perspective. I think hopefully I know many people here have more than one solution from Libris, and thank you, Anne, for having, I think, most of our solutions. I think this is important because a successful company is a company that is able to invest in the different solution and the product, and is a company that, if it's successful, can continue and support the customer, the community. Good example from Steve mentioned. When Endeavor was acquired, if Libris did not step in and took the initiative of develop the product, obviously we will not be here. And I think it's important for the community to see that as a company we are very motivated and committed to the Rosetta product, and we plan to do that for many years in the future. I think you know that we've had very, very successful run in the last couple of years with Alma. I think the numbers here are quite nice. We pretty soon going to have 1,000 Alma institutions, many in the UK, but obviously many in other countries, US, rest of Europe. And I think overall this is a very, very successful product, and I think this is help us drive the market in the right directions. You see some example of some of the statistics that we have. Anne mentioned also Leganto. Leganto is a product for teaching and learning that is becoming successful, and in general I'll talk a little bit about how for Libris it's important to allow the different libraries to expand with the types of services that they have, not just the traditional services, but really step and help the other mission statements of the institutions, whether it's research, whether it's teaching, whether it's archived, and the like. So I think that helps us a lot, and we'll talk how Rosetta fits into this story in general. I think you know it's been quite a strategic year for Libris. We got acquired by ProQuest at the end of 2015. Actually, the deal was closed in December 2015. And since then, it's been a year and a half. We've been working hard to consolidate the business. Some of you know ProQuest had a group that used to compete with Libris called Serial Solutions, or in the past, this is the folks that invented Summon and other types of solutions that were quite successful in the market, and we spent the last year combining the business, and I'll talk a little bit where we are there. I think overall it's been a very successful, and I think both from the company perspective, but more importantly from the user community perspective. I just came back from an event in the US, the Eluna, it's called the user group for the North American market. We had about 850 attendees, many of them more than 150 from customers that never been an Libris customer, but really were ProQuest customers. And I think this is overall is really perceived very well by the user community. And I'll talk a little bit about what does it mean later. I think the next change, obviously for personal perspective, was for me as well. We were just announcing a couple of weeks back a bit of a change in the leadership in both Libris and ProQuest. Mati Shemtov, which I think many of you know. I'm pretty sure that Steve negotiated, right, the Rosetta deal with Mati. Mati has been with Libris for 14 years and really took the company from a very small, he used to say, a niche player that used to be ranked number 6 in the industry to where Libris was today. And we are very fortunate that he decided to stay. I think some of you have had questions about what Mati is going to do since the acquisition of ProQuest. So the ProQuest folks and management managed to convince him to step up and take over ProQuest. He's moving to New York. It's a big change for him personally. I think it's really a testament to what we've done together with the community. If Mati has two things that people say about Mati is that is really a leader and managed to really vision and see where things should go. But probably more important, he's working always very, very closely with the community. This is something that the ProQuest has really recognized as a key element that they want to make sure is part of ProQuest, and I've asked them to step for that. On a personal basis, I was asked to step in to take the leadership position at Libris. I think many of you have met me before. I've been with Libris now for 7 years. It was kind of interesting that he mentioned 2010. I remember when I stepped in, and I remember the go live for Rosetta. Previously, I managed the group that is responsible for all the management solutions at Libris. Rosetta was always under my group, but so is Aleph and Voyager, and obviously in the recent years is Alma. And I'm very honored to step into the president role. I think in general, from Libris perspective, we continue to be very, very committed to the market. I know some people a year and a half ago when we got acquired by ProQuest had some doubt or concerns about what's going to happen for Libris. Is it going to be observed within ProQuest, and what does that mean for our products and commitment to the market? And as someone that has been part of that discussion, the due diligence that ProQuest did, we really insisted very strongly that we're going to be kept as a distinct, separate entity within the ProQuest group, because as you know, there were very important things for customers, both to make sure that our solutions are independent from the content. Obviously, ProQuest is a large content business, and a lot of our customers want to make sure that stepping into combining software on one hand and content, still make sure that our software will be independent from the content perspective. We, as a management team for Libris, thought that that's critical for the success. And I'm happy to say that we were able to do this, and we'll continue to do this going forward. We continue to be very committed to what we said that we're going to do with the markets, both on developing new products and kind of, I'll talk a little bit about new initiative that we are doing around research support, and kind of use Anne's diagram a little bit to help me there. In general, if you look at ProQuest, and I think many of you know, there's basically 3 entities within ProQuest. The larger ProQuest, there's the PQ, what is referred to as ProQuest Information Solution. This is the business that is responsible for the e-journal databases content. And the other big entity is what is referred to as PQ Books, and that is involve both ebooks and in the last year and a half also print books. ProQuest bought Coots, which is it's a vendor also that was responsible for print books as well. And Ex Libris is the 3rd entity within this organization. And as I said before, a year and a half ago, we were very committed to doing this, and nothing had changed. Having a separate entity, and Ex Libris will be always a separate entity. Yes, working closely with the other 2 divisions, making sure we have good integrations, because a lot of our customers do have solutions from all 3 types of the businesses. Some have solutions from Ex Libris, some have solutions on the databases and e-journal, and some obviously on the e-books and such. I know, for example, in the UK, Coots is quite a successful, been always successful vendor. And we are working very closely to connect and do integrations, but very important for us is to stay independent, and we'll continue to do this. So now that I kind of talked a little bit about the high level where Ex Libris is, specifically where ProQuest is and what does it all mean, I wanted to share a slide in general about what is our product strategy. And this is for Ex Libris software business. So I think you know that we are very successful and have a large install base. We have more than 7,000 institutions as customers. Many of them are not an Alma or Rosetta or even Primo customers. Many of them are Aleph customers or Voyager customers or SFX customers or 360 customers. And for us, it's very important to make sure that they all are very comfortable and not being pushed to upgrade to any of our next generation platforms. People ask me, and I'm sure there are people here in the room with Aleph as their solution for the library management. And we've been asked again and again, when is the end of life for Aleph? So I can tell you there's no such thing. We don't have a term like this in the company. And in general, we continue to have a group of people that work on developing Aleph and all the other products, because as an industry, we believe that people should not be pushed to the next gen. Each library has their own life cycle of where they want to go to the next solution. So we are very much respecting this. And I think this is something that I would dare to say quite unique about Ex Libris in our space, but I think it's been very successful. When people ask me why don't you push those customers to Alma, for example, there's a real simple answer. Imagine I have between Aleph and Voyager, I have about, well, today it used to be 5,000 institutions. Now we have, let's say, about 4,000 institutions or 4,500 institutions. I have in Alma about an average a year we implement about 300 institutions, 300 maybe a little bit more, which is and it's growing, but it's still, you know, we started with 100 institutions, then 200, and now with 300, and it's going to grow. But so imagine what will happen if next year all 4,000 institutions will come to me and ask to implement Alma. I can't. Even if I wanted, I cannot hire, train people, and have this level of movement of all the install base. So for me, as a business perspective, it obviously doesn't make sense to push our customers to move forward. And this is something that, again, fits very well with what libraries want to do in terms of their life cycle in their solutions. So this is on the left top end. Next is the next generation solutions. So we're talking about Alma, we're talking about Rosetta, Primo, and Summon. These are kind of the key next-gen solutions that we have in place. And this is obviously the core part of our business today. This is where we are being very successful in pushing forward. But as I said earlier in my presentation, for us it's also important to grow the business and also to help the libraries we work with to engage with other types of missions, their missions, the customer's mission, that are not just the traditional library management or discovery mission. Leganto was the first product that we developed there. And this is a product basically that is providing reading list solutions. I think some of you are in the room and Sheffield is using it. And the idea is really to develop a solution that connects the library to the mission statement of the learning and teaching. And libraries has always been trying to work there, and here is a tool that allows them. It's not a library tool, it's really an instructor tool, but connects the libraries very well to that environment. We've done the same with looking into other solution within in this case, in the academia space, and that is Campus M. And that's a local vendor, a company here in the UK, based in Wolverhampton, that we've acquired about 1.5 years ago. And their solution is a platform, a mobile platform. Imagine today, many of the institutions, definitely the academic institutions, want to create a mobile app or mobile footprint for the institution. This is where a student will be able to see their schedule, get notification, things of that nature. In the past, people had to actually code. University had to create this out of scratch. There's other different types of solution out there that creates a platform to make it easy. Campus M is one of them. And here, the idea is to step into the other mission statements within the institution, in this case, academic institution, again, to bring also the library and to show value that is wider than the value of the library itself. Think about this. We, as a company, we were asked many, many times to create a mobile app for the library, right? And we were thinking that that's a good thing, but it's not, because a mobile app to the library, again, focus only on the library and not trying to bring the library into the rest of the organization. So instead we said, let's buy a platform that is provide a wider value and make the library very successful within that wider space. So of course, the library part of Campus M should be very successful. For example, patron or students should be able to renew books or see things of that nature, but it's not just a library app. Research, we don't have a name for it, but I can tell you that we are starting and developing partnerships around something we refer to as research services platform. And remember Anne's slides there, where there was Alma on the right side and Rosetta on the other side, and in between there were a lot of solutions and a lot of connecting parts. We think that there's a big challenge there. We think that people and libraries, definitely in the research institutions, obviously feel that providing research services or research support is a key mission critical for the library, and they are challenged with so many point solutions, similar to what we had before with Alma, previously to Alma, where we had a point solution for print, point solution for electronic, point solution for digital, point solution for the link resolver. The same challenges exist today in providing research services. And we are planning to have a solution in that space that will address this. And if I, in 2 words, think about institutional repositories, research data repositories, and not less important, the publication lists, the vision of, or the visibility into what is the research that is conducted within the institutions. These are 3 siloed entities or solutions that many of the libraries are challenged today with to manage. Again, you've seen in the middle, you've seen some of them. We are planning to have a platform that We'll unify those solutions, we'll take them to the cloud, and we'll connect it to the other entities built on top of the platform that was already established in the library, Alma and others. Okay, so if you're interested, I'll be happy to talk to people here in this room about this. I'm going to skip these slides again and talk about this. And I want to show you how Rosetta fits very well in our overall vision and product strategy. For us, Rosetta is a key element when it comes to both digital preservation and digital asset management. This is something that fits very well into where Alma, Primo, and as I mentioned, the new research platform will exist. Again, if you look at, again, thank you, Anne, for that slide. I think it was a great, I didn't ask her, but she kind of did this. You know, again, look at that space where we have the library services on one hand, and then we have the digital preservation, digital asset on the other hand, and we have discovery, and in between we're going to have the research services. And from that perspective, this is why I see a lot of customers in this room that have actually adopted all those platforms, such as Sheffield, but also such as Leuven and Libris and some other institution here, where they are moving to Alma, moving to Primo, but connecting to the Rosetta as the back end for the digital asset management and digital preservation. So it's really the back end to a lot of what we see with the move to digital asset, or the explosion, as often said, of the digital asset and the focus that a lot of institutions are doing with digital asset in general. I'm not going to steal, there's going to be a presentation about where Rosetta roadmap is, so I'm going to skip this. And I want to finish, this is my last slide. Matti, was very successful in creating a very close connection to the user community. Everything that Ex Libris has done, and I joined 7 years ago, and I didn't work in the library space before. I worked in the CRM space before. But I really, really fell in love with this industry, especially because of the connection to the community. We do everything that we do with the community, and I think, again, even on our own space, I think Ex Libris is always known for having a very close relationship with the community. And I'm talking about voting for features and events and focus group. I mentioned the example of the development partnership that we just establishing for research. We will never develop a product that is not connected to the user first. Steve mentioned the example of deciding on Rosetta. We continue to do this, and I know that Adi, as someone who's leading the product management, is talking to most people here in this room on a weekly basis about making sure the right features are going to go into the Rosetta platform. And you have my own personal commitment that this is not something that's going to change. On the contrary, we'll continue to do this. Okay? So thank you. Appreciate your time this morning.